Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know those days, I'm sure you do, where everything just goes... Yeah, you've got all the best intentions and whatnot, but things just start going horribly, horribly wrong. I'm having one of those days. So, for those of you in the live stream, welcome. For those of you in the VOD, you've been watching for a few minutes already. And for everybody, I'm having to do this stream. Apologies if the quality is a bit off from what it usually is. I kind of had to... Hey, Dark Phantom! I kind of had to redneck the solution in to get YouTube to stream today. I'm not quite sure why, but XSplit has managed to break. I'm gonna have to get in contact with XSplit support later on this evening. Actually, immediately after the stream, because it's kind of important that I have access to YouTube Live. But yeah, it's decided to randomly revoke my access to YouTube Live, and is adamant that I never had access, and I never accepted the terms and conditions. So I've got to fix that. The plan for today is more bale work. Now I have done a few hours off camera, completely off camera, over the last couple of evenings, sorting out the bales, and my god, that was a painful few hours. By the way, I have done some more minor edits to Coldborough. You've probably noticed already that the grass is, in my opinion, looking spectacular. What I've done is I've taken the updated cut grass texture on FSUK, thrown it into the map, and now it's all cushy. I have also thrown in new terrain textures, so you'll notice the seeded texture is slightly different from what it was, ever so slightly. And what else have I changed? Because I'm sure I changed something else. Oh yes, I threw in the Ginneborg soil mod textures by request from Fahy, and to be honest, they are much better. I did a bit of testing with them. They are much better than what I had before. So that's the joys of editing stuff, is you can swap out textures in literally about 2 minutes. Less. Like a few seconds and you got a new texture in your map. And it's so nice. I've also been doing some mod testing. I've been actually quite busy with FS15 over the last couple of days. And I'm kind of hoping on having a nice busy weekend as well, working away on... I do want to edit a couple more things around Coldborough, and then I want to test a few more mods, get a lot of work done on... Am I going to be tidying the field after this? Yeah, it does look kind of bad. This is what happens when I try and do offset baling. I do have a plan, however. I do have a plan for what's going to happen. Because I've been testing mods, obviously. And I tested one mod that, I've got 51 bales in this. I, tested one mod that I will be using quite soon. One that is a bit dodgy. Actually very dodgy. But works occasionally. And one that I will be throwing in eventually. So I'll talk to you about the mods that I threw in first of all. Now, if you've been a long time viewer, you'll have seen this before, the JFCT 1060 ProTech. Got this working properly. I apparently tried to edit it at some point and broke it completely. That now works. I'll be probably renting this to just silage install everything that's left. I also got a new version of the Care, which is the single chop forage harvester that I've had for a while. It's not bad. It seems a bit heavy. I might have to try and do some editing to reduce the weight. And I also got in tippers, hopefully, yes, the Stewart PS 18-23H. This will be the eventual trailer. We're going to up ourselves to the Marshall first, the QM16, then we're going to up to the Stewart trailer. Now, one thing I actually want to do right now, believe it or not, is I want to buy the Krona Emsland Overloader. So I'm going to buy that and get it delivered. I also got rid of the PDA mod, which really has outlived its welcome. I'm going to get the New Holland delivered as well, just while I'm at it. Which I guess is kind of cheaty, but I wouldn't have been down to the shop for quite a while, and I actually need that Krona Emsland today. In fact, I need it in a few moments. Because I need to empty out the Seedmaster. So, this has kind of been my view for the past couple of days off the stream, is working away on this. And oh, I've knocked up that reverse. The first reverse I do on stream and it's completely terrible. I was just about to say I'm getting really good. If you're watching, follow me on Twitter definitely, because as it turns out, if there are issues like I have today, I will tweet as quickly as I can. Hey Ford! I've done some editing to Coldborough again. I broke my promise of no edits. But they're small edits. First edit is essentially the sandy bay grass texture, which just looks amazing. I was never going to go without it. There do seem to be some white outlines. Second edit is off over here. I have, actually, second and third edits. This is the Jenneborg Soil Mod texture pack with the weeds. I've also put in new terrain textures, and I've put in new distance textures for the crops. Literally just swapped out textures, no major editing. Now I'm going to go over and grab the New Holland and the Krona that I've just reset. Which, depending on your viewpoint, is probably breaking the rules I set out for myself. And here's the reason I got the new grass textures, is they look so much better than what's in the map originally. It looks like it's freshly cut grass now. I know that usually it's like white or yellow, but I don't mind it being greeny. So let's attach that. Go back into the cab, go forwards. Hopefully this works first time out, because I haven't tested this before. I'm blocking off the bloody entrance I want to use. Nice edits. The small edits, 5-minute job. Literally anybody can do them. Why am I doing vintage machinery? Long story short, Dark, I really like the classics. I am a big fan of vintage machinery and classic machinery. So I'm going to try and shoehorn them in as much as I can. It's just my personal preference on machinery. Please let this work. Or... oh, is this not going to work? Let's try putting the pipe out. Why is this not filling? It should say exceeds 2 as a fill type. Problems. Want another tractor? No. Not yet. I'm gonna just flat out return that Krona. Now I've got problems. What else is supposed to be able to take seeds too? Ah, the Rosbrandner. This can take seeds too. GC64 is new? I've had this for a week or so. It's just that I haven't really used it much. I figured, actually I bought this in like the second, like it was one of the first things I did, because I kind of figured that with the equipment we have, the little Massey isn't going to be able to cope too well. Please tell me I haven't somehow managed to knack up the overloading point of the seeds. Because this could be a thing. I might have knocked something up and I might have to go into G or into Giant's Editor to fix this, which I don't want to do, but I might have to. I swear this used to work. It does still work. Slight issue is that I believe the I don't know, the particle system's just disappeared. It's a nice tractor, nicer than the Massey. I like the Massey. I actually do like the odd shape of the Massey. There is actually one for sale near me. Believe it or not, a Massey. What was it, a 5710? Can't remember what model number it is. 5712. 5712. There's one of these guys for sale near me. I was genuinely surprised when I saw it the other day. I was on the way into to the court, and there's a 5712, definitely 57 series for sale in a showroom. It's like a used car and tractor showroom because we have a very weird area, and yeah, I was just like, hey, I know that tractor, I own one of them. So I'm just going to wait for this to fill up. It looks like it's almost done. Now the reason I have this is just so that I'm not shuttling the seeder to and from the field constantly. I can shuttle this thing around and have this thing full of seeds. You never like the drop noses. I guess it's a personal preference thing. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the bug-eyed Micra. You know, the Nissan Micra with the bug eyes on the front. I can't stand them. I don't like the new Beetle, as it's being unceremoniously called. I don't really like either of those cars. I know there are lots of people who do, and that's perfectly fine. If you're wondering why I'm reversing in here, this is my seed stockpile. And ooh, it's got a particle system. That's lovely. So yeah, my seed stockpile is in there. I'll be using, quite possibly using the conveyor belt mod to get it out. I've managed to get myself stuck here now. You never liked me there? It is down to personal preference. Plus the sounds on the 57 are a lot nicer, I think, than the sounds on the likes of the 77. In the game, at least. Again, personal preference comes. Would I ever consider a Landini tractor mod in the future? Yeah, Dark. If there was a good Landini around, I would be using it right now. The only brand that I try and avoid using is John Deere, because literally everybody uses John Deere. Actually, I'm gonna grab some barley and refill the Seedmaster now. But the only brand that I actually avoid using is John Deere. Landini. Sam N had a really nice one for 2013. A really nice Landini. It was like a yard tractor. Ever consider using a Sammy? Again, I would use a Sammy. I might use the in-game one at some point. I mean, I'm not biased toward, well, I'm biased towards New Holland, but not so much that I'm gonna just actively avoid using other brands. No, it's just these kind of fit the most. Why is this doing a thing? I hate when the tip nodes are so bizarre like that. Am I a Landini fan in real life and in game? In all honesty, I'm only really, in real life, a fan of New Hollands and Massey's. The other brands are like, oh, that's a class. That's awesome. Ooh, Ford, there's one thing I really try and avoid, and that's hardpoint extension mods. They have a weird habit of crashing the game spectacularly. I've just realized I can just stop this tractor in here, and I want to test something. Oh my god, you can now do this. Haha! That's a nice little detail that the hitch comes down. Can't check on this quite right now, but the hardpoint mods, I'm not saying they're all like this, because I know the I know there are some that are spectacular, but I'm playing for stability, and the Sammy's nearly Aggo standards. Aggo was a really good modder, but then he released one beta mod in 2015, and it was before 2015, and it was such a disaster. I played with the Aggo mod, and I don't know if it was like a mod that I had that conflicted with it, but it just didn't work. What the hell has happened to Aggo that he's gone this bad? I mean, I'm sure it was some sort of weird conflict, but it was kind of distressing to see, in my opinion, a spectacular modder just hit a really bum note. Did I pick that bale up? Did not pick that bale up. Jonas, yeah. If you send it to me on Steam Forward, because I'm using Firefox at the moment, and I tend to try and download mods from Chrome because I can get them straight into the mod folder because it's a bit easier that way. Also, that's why I use two different browsers. Is Firefox, if I download something, it'll go into an auxiliary folder. I'm really liking these new textures. They just add so much to the map. The grass texture looks perfect for Coldborough. Like, it looks like it's a bit of a wildish area. The grass hasn't been cut in ages. That's really the kind of look that I'm going for in the storyline. Like, some of these edits are literally going to be just so the storyline works better. I might change the grass texture again in the future. But that's definitely a lot closer to real grass than what Coldborough had originally. And that's not a downer on Bullet Bill, that's just maybe, you know, that's just saying, literally just saying his texture choice maybe wasn't the greatest. And personally I prefer the sandy base style of grass that looks more realistic. Looks slightly more HD, a bit more chaotic. It's definitely an improvement. And I've seen somebody's working on paintable hedges for FS15 as well. I have been through the work in progress area in FSUK, looking to see kind of what's upcoming in modding. What's the latest trend? The paintable hedges mod that I've seen, what I've seen of it so far, not particularly great. I'm not particularly enthused by that one. However, I could see a use for it. In Duneske. Oh, this map is far from perfect. It's a spectacular map. And I'm very willing to say that it's spectacular. But my god, the problems are real. Is that a bale? That is a bale stuck in over there. The problems are real. I am a big fan of realistic looking maps. And I can overlook some of the like some of the details that are kind of gone awry, like the roads not being linked up. I can overlook that because it just looks spectacular. And the fields are all in very good nick. And to be fair, Dark, this was Bullet Bill's first map. For a first map, you can accept imperfections. You've seen the problems I've been having with Duneske in terms of my perfectionism kind of getting in the way. You know, my perfectionism and my lack of experience are really having a nice argument with Duneske. Can I get 51? No, I can't. So let's fold this in. But like in general, just the attention to detail with the, maybe not the roads, but definitely the terrain and the grass, the foliage is really nice. And it's not one of these maps that has clutter everywhere for the sake of clutter. This is a really nice, neat map. It's one of the reasons I like it, is I don't like maps where they're just thrown... Oh, yeah, Dark. I'm just giving my own opinions on Coldborough and Coldborough Park specifically. It's one of these maps that it's a bit odd because I know a lot of people love these maps that are just filled with clutter. You know, like, I guess, what's the worst? Well, like, literally any one of Chris 7710's maps. It's like clutter everywhere. For what reason? I mean, it's not particularly realistic. No farmer in the right mind would have 17 crates just sat over there for some reason. They'd all be nicely, neatly stacked. If they were there at all. Oh, this potato crate is broken. Well, burn it. It's good firewood now. Yes. That's the kind of stuff that I can't stand with map makers, is when they just... I will complain about that for the rest of... for like, forever. Hey Faye! Is, map makers who just throw clutter in for the sake of having clutter in a map. Like, I will have some detail work in Duneske. Like a corner where... What map are we talking about here? Just maps in general. Dark said that, you know, everybody says Coldborough's perfect, but there's a lot of mistakes, and I just kind of went off on a tangent about mapping in general. But yeah, it's not a perfect map. I don't think anybody's ever claimed it's perfect. It's... The closest I'll come to saying it's a perfect map is it's a perfect map for the storyline needs. Like, for the way that I can get a storyline to work on Coldborough, it is perfect. In terms of flat out just being a map, no, there's issues everywhere. I may have overlooked them, I may not have even seen them at first, but now that I'm kind of looking at stuff in a lot more detail than I did in the past, they stand out quite badly. And I actually started watching last night while I was working away on this. Hey Dylan, I was watching last night when I was kind of working away on getting rid of some of the bales, because 3000 literally just trying to start up the game to record on Tuesday night. Oh my god. I literally crashed the game twice trying to get the game to load. It was so bad. So that's why there's suddenly now only 530 down from the like 2700 that were there at the end of the video. I have been working my ass off getting these bales collected. Who's my favourite map maker? Bullet Bill. He has the same mindset towards mapping as I do, I think, in that it doesn't really matter how long it takes or what people think. You build a map to... I'm actually going to go off on a tangent in a moment. You build a map to what you want to have in a map, and it, you know, if people like it, that's great. If people don't, well, that's not your problem. And I saw I can't remember what support topic or whatever it was on FSUK last night. I got so angry that somebody said, like, oh, if you're making a mod, you make it for other people to play, not to your own personal preferences. And I got so angry because that is so far from the truth of why people make maps and make mods. They make something they want to see, and they release it to be, you know, to be nice and to let their creation run wild and to see what other people do with what they want. Not like, so everybody's going to love this. No, that's the exact opposite of what you do when you start modding. Duneske, have I ever said for Duneske, oh, this is a map that everybody's gonna love? No, I said, okay, this is a map that I want to see. I wanted to see an Irish map done well. I'm making an Irish map. I'm hopefully gonna do it well. I'm gonna throw in some stuff that I don't personally like for the sake of people to play it, to see what other people can do with, you know, the stuff that I don't personally like. You know, you just put in, if you're intending on releasing, you do make concessions. But it's like, no. You do not make it for other people. You make your map, your way, for yourself. And then you release it, and if people like it, then you've made a good map. If people don't like it, you've still made a good map. It's just to your own standards, and nobody else has the same standards as you, maybe, or the same tastes, or the same preferences. And yeah, Dylan, watch the language, please. And by the way, I have edited Coldborough once again, despite my saying I wouldn't. I've just changed textures though, so there's no actual map edits. I'm making Coldborough my own, in my own special little way. There's no actual terrain edits, because if there was, that big hole there wouldn't be there. And that is something that irritates me, is that hole, so I might bring it into G at some point and just do a little bit of tapping with a terrain brush. How many battles are gone so far? It was 3012. We're now down to 480. Well, we're actually down to 480? What? It should be 430 left. So about 2,500 bales have gone. What do I think is the worst map or mod I've ever used? Oh, there are a few. I mean, if you go through my mod and map spotlights, you'll see some that I've literally just said, this is a train wreck. This shouldn't be released. The map maker clearly, or the mod maker clearly hasn't done any testing on this, and it's just a disaster. I mean, sometimes the only way to be nice to people is to be blunt, and is to be mean. You know, it's tough love. Well, yeah, I've said it. I've been completely flat out trying to get this sorted out. Because if I crash the game, I've done something stupid. And I crashed the game twice. So this was double stupid. In terms of, like, functionality... Oh, what's that map that I said was way too small for its own good? There was one map that I went through, and I remember doing a spotlight on it, and I just said, this is ridiculous. The PDA map was horribly wrong. It was all cluttered up in one corner of the actual map. The map author had decided that, oh, the PDA map doesn't cover... The PDA map would be really small if I just, you know, showed where everything was in its real place. And they stretched the PDA map, so nothing was in where it should be. Even the icons had broken. Was it one from the contest? It could well have been. And in terms of... I've forgotten the name as well, probably for the best. In terms of, like, vehicles and hiding stuff away, the Alstra 8x8. Which I learned, like, 2 weeks after the mod contest had finished, and 2 or 3 weeks after I'd done my mod spotlight on it, that it did actually have a way of putting the legs up. It just wasn't told, the map author never put it into the L10s, so there was no way of knowing this. One thing I have tried last night as well was, and I might return to it tonight. I don't know. This is going to be a bit of an ongoing project. I'm trying to convert the JF FH 1450 forage harvester to FS15. And if you know that off by heart, You know, that's the single chop forage harvester, and I'm modding brought out for FS13, which was spectacular, but I'm having issues with the conversion because I have no idea what I'm doing. I do have the models into. He sold 3 and bought. Well, he's downsizing at least. On Donegal, of course he has. I know. Is he still using the 40? I was watching one of his Donegal videos and I was just like, this is ridiculous. Because he was like driving the fast track around, doing everything with the fast track or something like that. I was like, this is not how things are done here. Yes, you do get fast tracks occasionally doing like field work. But he's buying another one to power the McHale. Of course he is. Now the McHale I have no issues with. The McHale I've seen so many times around here, but it's like some of the stuff that he's got and some of the ideas that he has are just so bad. And in terms of like running this farm realistically, I'm running this map. I've never mentioned in the videos. I've never actually outwardly said this. I'm running this to what I know is realistic. So I'm running this like an Irish farm. I know it's a British map, but I'm running this like an Irish farm. So, you know, I'm chopping silage. It won't be... I'll be doing it somewhat realistically. I'll have to make some concessions for the storyline. It won't be like, oh, we'll get in a Crone Big X. Was it Willow Tree was a disaster. There was one in the mod contest that was flat out stolen. And apparently I'd never downloaded it. But there was one that was just flat out stolen. Like somebody had taken a mod from like ModHost or FSUK, I can't remember which one. Edited it, and then thrown it into the mod contest, hoping nobody'd notice. And of course, within like 3 hours, everybody knew. Like, I know I bitched so much about the, you know, the BM modding stuff, with the mod contest, but that was far worse. Like stealing a mod. He wants it. Oh my god. That's a contractor-sized tractor. I'm not saying I don't like I'm not saying I don't like Dagowin, or I don't like what he does. He does things in his own way, and I can't complain about that. I mean, what I can complain about is him claiming realism is key, and then getting a 250 horsepower tractor in Donegal for a small farm. That I can complain about. You can't claim realism is key, and then do that, or have 17 tractors in Donegal. You know, it's fine if you're somebody like Dylan, who's a contractor. It's fine if you got a huge farm, but this is a small rural farm, and you'd really want a fleet about the same size as I've got here. Maybe with a 100-odd horsepower tractor to replace the Deutz, but you don't want much more than that. And in fact, I meant to get more. I meant to get more mods in. I've just realised I meant to get a couple of IHs. So what I'm planning on doing is getting a few newer old tractors. Which doesn't make much sense. I'm going to be running a farm under classic/vintage classification. So if it's over 25 years old, which brings us to what, 1991. We'll say 1991. That's a classic. It can go onto the classic farm or into the classics fields. So the Massey 698 is conveniently from 1989, making it 27. I'm gonna go by horse aging rules as well, so 250 brake horsepower isn't too unrealistic, but it's... for a small farm, I think it's a bit excessive. Especially a farm that's primarily grassland. Because that's what I see around here a lot, and it's a lot of mid 150s in terms of horsepower, nowhere near 200. I've got 52 bales! I've succeeded in my challenge! I had challenged myself to glitch this to 52, and I've done it. Who said last time I couldn't get 52 bales into this? I remember somebody said last week that I couldn't get 52 bales into this trailer. I have proven you wrong. You just need to glitch it in the right way. He's bought the JCB telehandler. I'm not going to complain too much about that Ford. I have seen quite a few telehandlers and skid steers around here in agri colours, and they're usually just kind of given out on loan to the council. Yeah, for a farm the size of a Taste of Donegal, 250 is a contractor's tractor. I don't quite know why that's happened. Yeah, this camera mod glitches from time to time and just has me facing in the wrong direction. You said I couldn't get 52 in. Well, screw you, Ford. I've got 52 in the trailer. I am the master of breaking things. Some things just sold. I think I might have had 53. The joys of... This is why I tend to test mods, is I can find new and interesting ways of breaking stuff at times. I just thought of another mod that was massively disappointing, and it's that the BM modding tether from the mod contest. Like, apart from all of my issues that I had with BM on a rules level, and that was more of an issue with Giants, as it turns out, the tether they brought out was junk. I mean, if you go back and look at... Sound's gone and stopped. That looks like it's on your side, Ford. I am looking at the stream right now and it looks fine. Am I far behind? No, I'm watching the live stream and it's fine. I'm gonna just play an ad while I'm out of the game. Hang on, everybody. Getting all my windows back up. What's my opinion on mod contests? Tell Ford to just refresh the stream, please. It should work again. There's a new version of the tether released. Yeah, I'm not saying that a newer version is still terrible, but the version you refresh 5 times. Is it working now, Ford? I'm not saying that like any new version. I'm talking specifically about the version that was released for mod contest. It was terrible. I broke it within 5 seconds. I literally broke it within 5 seconds. And Fahy, as it turns out, works for about 2 minutes. What's going on with the bit rates? Bitrate is fine. It's pretty much what I set it to. I'm guessing you might have an internet issue, Ford. BM, and I'm going to rescind what I said back then. BM did not break the rules. BM did not break the rules of the mod contest. They broke the rules as we saw them in English, yes. However, what actually happened is actually kind of worse. Because what actually happened was Giants had two different sets of rules. You have to get an operation on your tongue. Good lord for. And it's fine. You guys don't have to be here for every stream, just so you're aware. I know you're mods, but you don't have to be here every day. But what happened during the mod contest was the German set of rules was actually different to what we saw in English. I don't know if it was a translation issue or what happened, but some sets of rules had differences. Some sets of rules were different to others, which were very, very odd. I think the Spanish rule set was the same as German, but had one or two weird things in it. The French rule set was a bit odd as well. And the German rule set was the rule set Giants were going with, which did say you could enter multiple mods. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Giants having released multiple rule sets for different languages. I genuinely hope it was just an issue with translation. And, not a conscious decision by Giants to intentionally give German-speaking mod authors an advantage. Now, the actual results of the mod contest I completely disagree with, because I said straight away before any mods were entered, BM modding is winning. Because BM modding always wins the mod contest because they're the most popular mod team in Germany. And yes, they made a spectacular mod, and yes, it did deserve to win. It was the best mod in the contest, but I don't know, I think Real Terrain was a really strong second place. At worst, third. Your tongue-tied means your tongue can't move right. I probably am as well. It would explain why I can't talk 90% of the time. I know I've got a lazy eye. If you look carefully, I'm gonna do this real quick. If you look carefully, you can't really see it right now. If you look carefully, my left eye is pointing off at a slight angle to my right. It's a bit... My left eye is quite lazy. And it has issues focusing. My left eye is the eye I actually need the glasses for. So, that's a genuine issue. My right eye is essentially fine. Just have to check. My left eye, not so much. Yeah, my left eye is actually far worse. Good lord. Back to bail work, I guess. Yeah. But that's why I have glasses. It's not because I can't see. It's just because I've got a hell of a lazy eye. And once my left eye starts defocusing, my right eye has to strain to kind of get the focus right. And because it's straining, it then defocuses in the other direction. So then I get double vision and it's all very awkward. And I usually have double vision, but it gets way worse when my eyes go bad. Yeah, it's a little... You need the cord under your... That... I'm hoping they've got anesthetic for it, because I couldn't imagine doing that with no anesthesia. David's camera mod, if that was working fully and not randomly breaking like it does seem to be, I would get rid of the camera mod that I currently have and just replace it with that. Because that His camera mod is so much better than what I've got. I also wouldn't mind his like locking script bale equipment. I don't mind locking script bale equipment. That's the thing. I don't mind like using locking scripts. I don't like auto load scripts. That's like one distinguishing thing that I'm always gonna say. I don't like auto loaders. I just can't stand them. They're unrealistic. The bale stackers that are in the game by default, they're fine. They're real equipment. They're real pieces of equipment. Doesn't that mean you can swallow your tongue that way? No, Dark. It just means it doesn't move correctly if you're tongue-tied. Usually if you're swallowing your tongue, it's enlarged or after sliding back somehow. Tongue-tied doesn't cause that. Which is kind of a good thing, I guess. There we go. Swing this round and we're good. I think the biggest issue, I'm going to go back to talking about Daggerwin and his choice of equipment. The biggest issue with Farm Sim is if you're not using like 100 horsepower, or if you're not using like big equipment, if you're only using something like, you know, the 3-meter equipment, that's fine. It's fine to have realistic equipment on a small farm. Anything over that, and you really do need 200 horsepower. I'm not gonna complain about that from Dagger, but I mean, he doesn't have that much equipment. He could run a decent round baler very easily, and a wrapper. That's what most farmers do. Or they get in a contractor, but I guess that's not a thing in Farm Sim. It really should. Like, contractors should be a thing in Farm Sim, and who was it said it in the comments? And I completely agree that if I got a virtual contractor in... Now, I'm not going to get in a virtual contractor. I do have a plan for that, and that'll be top secret until it happens. I do have a plan, but I'm going to get in what I'll call a virtual contractor. A contracting crew at some point. But because this map is quite edited, it is private, and I'm not willing to give it out to just anybody. The tractor wouldn't put it up, you'd lift the reel and go to the top. Yeah! I mean, that's what you're supposed to do in the game. I'm stuck on a bale. I'm actually stuck on a bale. Okay, so I gotta go forward. This is more torque and going forwards. I'm not getting air agri in. I've got a better plan than that, Ford. I've got a much better plan, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. I'm sure you guys will be a lot happier with my plan than me getting in a virtual contracting crew, to be quite honest. And it doesn't... all I'll say is it does involve multiplayer. And a bit of behind the scenes stuff that I might as well just say it straight out. For the next harvest, you could say that, Ford. For the next harvest, I'm gonna get you guys in. I'm gonna give my map to some of you guys. I'm gonna give you guys the Coldborough edit that I've got, because you do need the same version of the map. I'm gonna have to give you 1 or 2 mods that I have edited, and I think I actually need to change my Oh, I can change my multifruit. I'm gonna edit my multifruit mod so that everybody can, so that everything can load seeds too. But yeah, I'm gonna, and it's just gonna be a few people. It's gonna be like 2 or 3 people coming in because I'll be running the server off my PC and recording or streaming because I might decide to bring you guys in multiple times. It's better than getting in a virtual contractor. I can call you guys contractors in the storyline videos, and they'll be coming in. I haven't decided yet. Probably you, because you've been here so much. Probably Fahy and Welsh. And if Summer's around, I'd love to get them in as well, but that might be pushing it a bit. That does mean I will need extra equipment. Would I be using many mods? You see, the issue I have is that I do like using a crap ton of mods. Let's just look at the equipment that I've currently got and see how many are mods. Okay, so we got the Nova Cat, which is not a mod. This isn't a mod, this isn't a mod, and this isn't a mod. So we got 4 non-mods. Piece of gold edition. I might change that out for the Amazon. And then literally everything else is a mod. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different mods. You've 2 gigs of mods? Let's have a look at my mod folder and see how big it is. Properties. Oh, it's only 2.6 gigs. That's actually kind of surprising. I was expecting it to be far bigger than that. Yeah, I got 2.6 gigabytes of mods. 2.68 to be exact. Although I think there's like a picture in there somewhere. You've 12 gigabytes. I don't think the game would load if you had that many mods. Although I'm guessing you've got a few maps in there in your mod folder. I actually need to get rid of one map out of this mod. There's a map in this mod folder I didn't mean to put in here, but it's been there for a while, and I need to get rid of it. Because if you got more than one map in a mod folder, it can cause issues. Some servers are 50, 60. But the issue is that I've got scripts as well, so I got Seeds to Fix, Soil Mod, Glimpse, or sorry, Glance. I'm actually planning on getting the Map Overlay HUD as well, Multi Overlay HUD, Real Terrain, the Real Terrain Hotfix, the Camera Mod. About 8 maps. You should only have 1 map per mod folder for it. I've got 2 in this, and I'm really kind of nervous at times when the game takes a while to load up. 7.3 gigs. Yeah, you see, the joy of doing multiplayer is that especially the way that I'm playing with this map, is that I'll only need to put the mods that I actually need into the server. So if I get 2 or 3 extra mods in, we've been just for the harvest in 2 different folders. I've got so many mod folders, it's silly. Some of them are unused, some of them are dormant, some of them are just there for the sake of it, but it's silly. Will you be in for only the harvest? I don't know, I haven't decided yet. It really depends on what I decide to do over the course of this next round of seeding and whatnot. Because I might decide to go very heavy on silage, and I've got the... Oh, I've got Farzilo extension. Do you need to have a custom PC for Farm Sim, or will it run fine with your computer? Depends on what specs your computer has, Dark. I'm not going to claim it'll run perfectly on every computer. If you look at my older videos, you'll see that it kind of chugged on my old one. There was issues. But it will run on most newer computers. We'll say 2 or 3 years old. You shouldn't have much of a problem. One mod folder with just the stuff I'm using or planning on using, or with everything else. I've just got mod folders everywhere. I even have one for mods and maps that I've been editing. You finally treated yourself to all the DLC. In all honesty, the best DLC is JCB. That is just the best value for money DLC for Farm Sim. Gold is okay, JCB is just better. JCB adds to the game. Gold just gives you new options. It's not just gameplay, it's load times. Like, the main reason you have, or try to have one mod folder ever in action, or one map per folder, is just that it loads faster. And it runs just that minuscule bit better. Maybe 1 or 2 FPS you'll gain, but it is noticeable. So I'm going to talk real quick, and I'm going to go for full 2 hours today because I can. I know the stream started late because XSplit had issues, and I need to try and figure that out. But I'm going to go for 2 hours. So I'm going to talk real quick about the video that's going up tonight. Gold did fill in a lot of gaps, yes, that is true, and there is a new... Gold did give us a new classic piece of equipment in the Zetra Crystal, which is actually really nice, I love it. That'll be going into my classics farm. But the video is going up tonight. It is Project Cars. It's actually Project Hell. The Dallara DW12 IndyCar with the Road Aero kit. That going around the Nürburgring, and before I recorded it last night, I actually recorded it almost immediately after the stream, I did a practice lap. Now the world record for in Project Cars for IndyCar around the Nürburgring is 5 minutes 34 seconds. My personal best last night was 5 minutes 48 seconds in the practice lap, just to get my eye in with the car and see what I need to be worried about and what I need to be concerned about. So I did my practice lap, started recording, and immediately started failing. So the video is going up as a second recording attempt. And Dark, I probably will get FS17 for no reason other than it's going to be good for the channel that I get FS17. Because I know that Farm Sim is kind of the bread and butter of this channel. I'm trying to get away from it, but I know it's just going to stay there. It's just because you guys like Farm Sim too much. And the other games are just kind of games that maybe I enjoy more, like Project Cars. And I do encourage you to watch Project Hell, because that is genuinely fun for me. And you get to see some really crazy stuff, like an IndyCar driving around. And good for Duneske too, yeah. But I do know that Farm Sim, despite what I might think of the game, is the bread and butter of this channel. Like Project Cars, I do some insane stuff. I like the IndyCar lap around the Nürburgring. The real life world record is somewhere in the mid 6-minute range. You know, that's faster than you'll ever see going around the Nordschleife. Ever. Unless you know, watch somebody playing Formula 1 around it. Formula A, which that might well go faster. But that's definitely going to be kept to a stream. I'll be trying to do all the Formula cars in a single stream for Project Hell. But I had a lot of fun doing that video. And to be quite honest, the car looked fast. Like, normally if you get a fast lap in, it looks kind of slow and boring. Oh my god, that lap. Just, you in the ring don't get on. Illuminate, you need to watch the video tonight. It's going to be live in just over an hour and a quarter. It's going to be live. Or it's going to be up. You're more of a Silverstone man? It's a good circuit. It's a good circuit, but I'm going to say something controversial, I know it. New Silverstone with the addition of the long straight and hairpin, I prefer the new Silverstone to the old Silverstone. That's a track revamp done correctly. Mainly because it's not done by Herman Tilke. It was actually done by a British designer, and that was like, that is and should be the gold standard of track redesigns of a classic circuit. Is, hey, look at what Silverstone did. They took the essence of the old track, modified it slightly with the hairpin, and just left it be a fast track with a slow section. I mean, it's a lot less neutered than, say, Hockenheim. Hello, Welsh, or the Nürburgring, for that matter. Although the Nürburgring did need to be neutered for Formula 1. Don't quite think anybody would appreciate the Nordschleife being resurfaced every 3 years. Watkins Glen has finished being resurfaced. I actually saw on Twitter last night. I don't know when that happened, but it happened. That's it, my favourite circuit is actually one that I hate to drive. Worldwide, my favourite circuit is Monaco, because it just looks so beautiful. But my god, can I not drive it. I find all of the walls at Monaco. All of them, and then I hit them multiple times. If I'm going for a track that I genuinely love and can drive, other than the Nürburgring, because that is just my favourite. We got a double corner in the new one where if you get the angle correct, you can just go straight through the middle of the turn and go. Yeah, like, other than the Nordschleife, because this is going to be excluded from the conversation now. Other than the Nordschleife, my favourite circuit that I can drive is probably either Spa or Monza. Like, Monza is a nice challenge. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. And yeah, China passed away. I was just like, no. I woke up, I thought that was a joke, because I saw it on Wrestling with Regret, and I thought, oh, this is some kind of weird joke. And then What Culture put it up as well, and I'm like, oh, god dang it, China. And she only posted she actually posted a video on YouTube 3 days ago. I started watching it, and I was like, okay, no, this is not a good idea. I will start crying. But that was so very sad. I didn't know she was only in WWE for like 4 years. What's my opinion on Pirelli in Formula 1? Pirelli will kill somebody eventually. If they keep with Pirelli in Formula 1, somebody will die. You really want a simulator race game to have Monte Carlo? Project Cars does, but I know it's Simcade. The issue is, Illuminate, is that to get Monaco, the street circuit, into a racing game, you'll have to close down most of Monte Carlo for like 2 days for the laser scan to happen. And the Principality of Monaco is just not going to allow that to happen. You have to do Spain. That's fine for it. But Monaco's just not going to let the centre of the country close down for a few days. And it's a real shame. It really is, because I would love, if iRacing got Monte Carlo and the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, I would legitimately go back to iRacing and get up to like an open wheel Formula car, something like the Formula Renault, buy it, and then buy Monaco and be like, yep, this is, you know, I would do like an entire series just for Monaco. Sand's gone and won't come back. Ford, your computer has issues. You forgot to turn up. Well done, Ford. Why would somebody dies? Because they're not good or because it has no grip? Somebody will die because Pirelli basically said at some point last year that I think it was after Belgium, after the tyres exploded at Belgium, that's pretty much what happens when the tyres are gone. There was no cliff last year in the tyres. They would literally just randomly explode. And Pirelli have proven that they're kind of incompetent at making a tyre that's capable of supporting Formula 1 at any speeds. Like, a Formula 1 car pushing flat out in a Pirelli will kill somebody. And if they're planning on getting Formula 1 back up to speed next year, somebody's going to die. If they're planning on getting Formula 1 up to new speed highs and grip highs next year, somebody's going to get killed. Because the Pirellis can't handle that. Pirelli, as a tyre manufacturer, cannot handle the requirements of a high performance racing tyre. Like Michelin can. Bridgestone can. They've proven it time and time again. Yeah, Michelin had some issues at Brazil 03 and Indy, was it 05? Where all the Michelin runners literally had to pull out for safety reasons. And Brazil 03, where I think it was the Michelin shod cars were on intermediates when they needed wets, but because of the rules in 2003, there were issues. Who's the best F1 tyre manufacturer? It depends on the era. It really does, and what car specifically you're talking about. Like in the 1970s-ish? I don't want to say 70s. In the 80s, it was Goodyear with the Eagles. They were by far and away the best Formula 1 tyre of the era. In the 90s, it was probably, I think Michelin were the guys for this era. I don't know. Like early 2000s with Ferrari specifically. There's a reason I say with Ferrari specifically, I'll get to that in a second. But early 2000s specifically with Ferrari, it was 100% Bridgestone. For everybody else, probably Michelin. And the reason I say specifically for Ferrari is it's kind of well known now that well, it was well known at the time that Ferrari tested with Bridgestone, you know, did private tests for Bridgestone to get tyres. That's fine. Turns out that Bridgestone actually gave Ferrari special tyres for racing. Michelin used to be good. They're overpriced death traps now. In terms of race tires, they're actually really good because that's what a lot of the WEC teams use. Simulate. So you have a proven track record of high performance tires that have longevity and structural rigidity, which Pirelli, they don't have that track record in Formula 1. Number one, they're designed to degrade, which is the dumbest thing ever, and number two, they've got a history of randomly exploding if somebody goes on a curb the wrong way. It's not how you should be building race car tires. That's being completely blunt. Pirelli are incapable of creating a tire fit for modern racing, especially at the top levels. Bridgestone Michelin, proven track record. Maybe not so great with road tires, but for racing, which is realistically their bread and butter, that's how they sell the road tires. Doesn't matter what happens with the road tires. That's what happens in racing. What's your thoughts if... oh, no, I don't mind swapping the... why are they sticking with Pirelli? Because Bernie Eccleston likes them. I don't mind topic changes at all, Simulate. If Giants brought in... Here's what I think Farm Sim should be. Is Giants should actually have, much like the Truck Sims, the SCS games, they should have a series of options where it's like real seasons, you know, soil management, crop rotations required, real crop rotation, real grip level, or maybe not real grip levels because Farm Sim is a bit dodgy. Deformable terrain should actually be an option. For the heavier sim guys like me. Like they should introduce a bunch of options, and seasons should be one of them. Like weather affects plant growth. Should be an option for realism. More rain or realistic weather, because there's very few places in the world that have sun as much as Farm Sim does. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually pause the game because I've got it open full screen again. And I am going to play an ad because I'm trying to run one roughly every half hour. So I'll be back in a moment. Do. Helps if I open chats. There we go. Alright, according to YouTube, the ad is over. So what I think Farm Sim should do, just go back to that topic. What Giants should do with Farm Sim is either have a bunch of like options for things you can turn on or off, or just give the game two modes. You have what I'll call Legacy mode, which is Farm Sim as it currently is in 2015, where it's kind of more arcadey based. You can play ads on your YouTube now. Oh, you got monetization enabled, Welsh. Very good, very good. It's definitely something that I think every YouTuber should have on if they can. Not because, you know, scrounging for money or whatnot, but just because it does help the channel pay for each other. There's no ad. I know that, well, some people do get ads. Simulate. Unfortunately, YouTube's ad thing is essentially a toss a coin. Will you get an ad? Usually not. I think there's about a 5% chance of any one person getting an ad. But I don't want to be like having the stream going on and somebody missing something because they had an ad that I decided to play. So, just in the interest of fairness, I stop and have a drink while I play ads. Like, I know I'm not streaming for the full 4 hours anymore, but it does help to keep hydrated and have plenty of water. Could be because it probably is because of the phone simulate. I know phones are much less likely to get ads, which is kind of a bad thing for smaller YouTubers. Actually, yeah, it's a bad thing for smaller channels. For the likes of PewDiePie, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. And that seems to be how YouTube works, is just, does it benefit PewDiePie? Or somebody of his size with millions of subs? Yes, well, do it. Does it benefit small channels? Yes. Nah, it kind of cripples the bigger ones, though. The bigger ones don't need your help. Big channels like PewDiePie, everybody knows them. They don't need help. It's the small channels YouTube should be helping the most. But they don't, because they can't make big money from the small channels. Like, you know, the channels that have maybe less than 100k subscribers. You stream from your PS4 2 hours a day. I did not know that much. I must start watching your streams. Mobile's bad for money, but good for analytics. Doesn't count as external views simulate. It does not count as external. I can actually see what platform people watch on, and I happen to know that at least in the past, people were watching me on smart TVs, which was, I found genuinely comical. It was like, somebody's actually putting me on a TV. You mad, mad people. And I thought I was the insane one. I am insane, but I mean, who buys a smart TV just to watch YouTube? I'm guessing that wasn't the actual reason to buy a smart TV, but... Why are there bales that I'm missing here? Why is there still 76 bales being counted? I may have to do the trick where I delete bales again. I may have to edit the vehicles XML. You don't want to get out of bed. That's a good reason to do anything. I mean, I didn't want to get out of bed today, so I stayed in bed for an extra hour. I was quite happy with myself. I got out, had breakfast, had my coffee, came up here actually at like 2 o'clock, which was... I was amazed I was able to get the stream ready, and then at like 5 to 3, XSplit decided, oh, you don't have authorization for YouTube. I'm like, what? Yes, I do. I own this channel. I was literally streaming on it yesterday. So I'm gonna have to contact Yes, courseplay tutorials on the smart TV. Oh, you're one of the weirdos, Simulator. I'm sorry, but I had to. That was just a joke that I had to make. I'm not complaining about people watching videos on smart TVs. It's just, it strikes me as odd. Just inherently odd. Okay, so we've run out of bales now. Essentially, because I can't find any more. So what I'm going to do is come down here. There should be a bale down here somewhere. There it is. Use Smart TV 2. I've got 2 monitors. I don't need a TV. I have 2 monitors in the Kodi app. I have no need for a traditional TV. See, now I'm running into an issue, because I need to... Or I want to, I should say. Start getting the hay bales done. But I don't want to have 3,000 bales again. So what I'm going to do is... They released it. It's actually a second version simulate. The Sandy Bay Redux is an edit of Sandy Bay. It's not by Oxygen David. So it is a different version. It is a different map entirely. You have 1 TB and soon to be 2 monitors. Double monitors once you get 2 monitors, 1 monitor just seems wrong. It seems very cluttered. And that's speaking from experience, because I did go down to 1 monitor for a period. After building the new PC, I didn't quite have the adapters that I needed. So I had to go back down to 1 monitor. Hopefully this will scoot itself over nicely. There we go. Lovely. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of chaffing up the remaining straw, and that's going to be what I'm going to do with the remaining straw, by the way, I am going to bring this bale trailer in for a twin 24-inch-year-old job to single 22. Oh! I'm on dual 21.5 and never gone back. It's single monitors are gone for me. I mean, there's no point to them. I mean, they're fine if you literally only have to do one thing, but as soon as it comes to having to research something, you need the second monitor so you can reference it immediately instead of having to go over and back constantly. I'll turn on the lights. You have 124 and you want to get a 27. I would say get a 24 again, Fahy. If you have mismatched monitors, it causes issues. I'm on the wrong side of the road. No, I'm not, Jim. This is Coldborough. It's a British farm. Drives on the correct side of the road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop off this trailer here and then go back for the baler. I'm going to bale 1 field at a time and collect it up after that. Immediately after. So let's add Q back in. Off we go. This grass texture is so much better than what's in the map by default. Not even gonna look, just come straight out, deal with it. Fahy, you're best off doing that. I had 2 mismatched monitors before, and it caused all sorts of problems. My 24, 27 inch. 21.5 inch, actually. You gotta get back to work? Alright, Jim, see you. Yeah, 21.5. So that's what, 43 inch total? Definitely a good size, especially for my desk. I could fit a 3rd monitor on, but it'd be a real squeeze. Like, this is the maximum I can deal with on my desk. I'll have to take a picture of them eventually and tweet it out. Because my desk is an absolute disaster 90% of the time. That's the exact problem Simulate, is it screws with the aspect ratio, Mouse confines don't work correctly as well. That's an issue I had, and it just turns into an utter cluster, and it's not fun. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just pause the game real quick, play an ad, and then go back in and get the baler attached. So I don't really have, well, I don't have Twitch chat up. I got YouTube chat, which is, I guess, the main chat. The only chat that I'm getting comments in anyway. So unfortunately this doesn't have an attachable PTO, which is a bit annoying. I'm gonna pause again now. The baler's attached, just gonna leave that there. Ad is apparently finished. Yeah, I need to tidy up my desk a bit, but I will take one eventually and just show how utterly clustered everything is around me. You have screen 1 on the right. Yeah, that would annoy me, Simulate. Screen 1 is directly in front of me. I think screen 1 is actually the one on my right, according to my PC. But I've got my main monitor in front of me and my secondary beside. One thing I do like is that Windows 10 actually has two, when I'm not in a full screen game like I am now, there's actually two different taskbars, which I do like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start baling up field 22 first, I think. Just because that's going to give us the most bales and the most problems. So apparently the count from the baler is 3,048 bales. You like cluster makes it look like it's actually used, not on the setup, so only a monitor, wireless mouse and keyboard. I don't get people who are like that. I really don't. Like, I'll try and describe it. So obviously right in front of me is my wheel. Just to the left of that is the shifter for the G27. To my right and offset to a small bit is my mouse. Behind, or kind of in front of the wheel, as you guys are seeing it, facing me. Behind the wheel for me is the keyboard. One monitor is right here, the other is just over here to the side, like that. Both of them are angled oddly. And then kind of off over on this side, behind the shifter, is just a bunch of crap. The microphone is actually mounted above my secondary monitor, and it's on a boom stand, so it's stretched way out into the just the entire length of my desk. It's just stretched across, and it is so very comfortable. So let's get this baler up and running. Oh, it was extended out. So the baler's running, and actually I'm gonna just leave it running for a second. I've looked up videos of this thing on YouTube, and giants, I'm gonna give them props. They got this, all of the actions spot on, inch perfect. I'm gonna give them massive props for that. Just for nailing the baler so well. Gets very claustrophobic. I know that feeling, Simulate. Especially when you're like me, trying to use 3 controls at once, like I am right now. Because I am using the mouse to look around. The only thing Giants actually got wrong about this baler is the way the bales feed out. They don't feed out lengthways like that. They actually feed out. They don't feed out horizontally. They feed out vertically. That's the only kind of mistake Giants made with this baler. Other than the the lack of a particle system that does irk me slightly. I may have to put one in. So the reason I'm going slowly, much like with the straw, is just to try and gather up all the hay. And to be quite blunt, it's more realistic to do it slowly, because you'd never get anybody in the right mind making hay at 15 miles an hour, or at 15 kilometers an hour even. Would normally be around walking pace, which is in the 5 kph range. Farm Expert does some stuff right. I mean, everybody blasts it because it is just a terrible, terrible game in terms of gameplay. But in terms of graphics and particle systems, it nails it. It does what Giants are weak at, and Giants do what Farm Expert are weak at, which is gameplay. And if they teamed up and made one game between them, we would have a spectacular game. If UIG and Giants were ever to team up, we would actually get one genuinely spectacular game. We'd get the farming version of Euro Truck. Like, in all honesty, we probably would. That should be the pickup raised, because they've tons more content, yeah, but what Farm Expert went wrong with is they made the scope too big for their own good. So they got tons of content, but none of it's done well. Giants do very little content, but done very well, relatively speaking. That's why I always say Giants are a bit, they can afford to sit back because there's no real competition in the farm sim market. Because there is no real competition, Giants are going to come out on top no matter what. Because they have the better gameplay. They've got the scope that works with their skill set. They don't bite off more than they can chew. Sure, the game's got problems, but it's not inherently broken in any way. I mean, even the issues I have with round bales, that's primarily down to me using bale extension because it changed the bale physics slightly. That's not actually a major issue with the game code. I like to think I'm doing well with this. I don't know if that's actually the case. I think 17 will feel like an expansion pack, yeah, simulate. If it does, that's the end of Giants. People won't buy FS19 if 17 is If 17 is to 15, what 15 was to 13, Giants are dead in the water. Because there was genuine frustration that there was very little actually new in FS15, just the logging. And even that didn't work well at launch. So I'm kind of hoping the Giants get their act together and add, like, they'd literally need to add 7 or 8 new crops. The AgCo stuff is going to help them, but they're going to have to add a lot of new crops. You got to start your new save game on Greyborn. Very nice, Fahy. I am very pleased with this edit I made to the grass texture, because it just looks better. Doesn't really matter if it fits too much, it just looks better. And to be honest, it kind of does fit. It's kind of a darker colour, which works. Now, unfortunately, I will be bailing through the night here. Which means the next video, which will be Monday. Is it Monday? Yes, Monday's video. The reason there weren't forestry DLCs simulated was because forestry was kind of... It was such a disappointment to the players that the forestry DLCs wouldn't have made money. I think Giants... The success of the Forest mod in 2013, which was by BM, which was actually done by kind of... that mod was made by request from Giants. That was Giants testing the waters of forestry and testing their own coding. Which is why it ended up so similar with similar equipment. The success of that made Giants think that forestry is something that everybody wanted, when in fact it was just a novelty in FS13. And the fact that the forestry in FS15 was so different from the forest mod kinda got people... I don't know if it's saying upset, but it definitely wore the novelty off. Like, by the time FS15 released, forestry was no longer a novelty. It was something that was already in the game. And seeing Giants put it in was just like, oh, that this is a thing now. I was kind of angry when I saw forestry be a thing in FS15, because, like, it's farming simulator. If Giants want forestry, make forestry simulator. A woodcutter simulator or something like that. Don't shoehorn it into a different simulator. I know it was put in because of the Northern Europe base of Bjornholm, but it didn't fit the game. It still doesn't. I'm adamant that forestry doesn't fit farm sim. It's just so very different. Forestry Simulator is already a thing, but it's terrible. As the issue with most simulators is they get tarred with the, oh, it's a German simulator brush. And they live up to expectations, or I guess live down to expectations, because the expectations are low. The expectation is something with dodgy physics, which Giants invariably release farm sim with. People walking around who look like they've literally got a stick up their ass, which Giants invariably launch farm sim with. Weird vehicle physics for the AI, which Giants invariably launch Farm Sim with, and which Farm Sim 15 still has, because they're all concrete blocks. Yeah, textures and models that wouldn't look out of place 3 or 4 years ago in a modern game. It's just kind of, it doesn't... I think Farm Sim 17 needs to go a bit more gritty and realistic and away from the vaguely cartoony textures we got in FS15. I mean, Giants are only now learning how to use normal maps, which says a lot about their I'm not going to say competency, I'm going to say knowledge. Because normal maps have been a thing for years. And they're outdated. Normal maps have been outdated for a couple of years now, and Giants are bringing them in. If Cattle and Crops is real, Farm Sim is dead. If Cattle and Crops is real and performs as well as it looks as it does, and isn't just another Agrar, that's it for Farm Sim. Giants are done. There's no coming back from Cattle and Crops. A new game engine. I honestly think Farm Sim needs to move away from Unity, because this is a Unity game. I think that the Unreal Engine would be much better for Farm Sim. Unreal 4 would be really good for Farm Sim, because you could get much more realistic textures, much more realistic behavior in, and more importantly, dynamic terrain is just a thing in the Unreal Engine. I think what I want to see most out of FS17 in terms of mods being added to the game by default is going to be like something. I'm sorry, my foot is really super itchy, so you have to bear with me for a second. Mods like Alt Tip or Tip Anywhere or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, bale extend should be awesome. That you actually have to put the bales away, else they'll rot away. Especially if it rains. Soil mod would be amazing as well. Or at least some soil management functionalities. Maybe not the entirety of soil mod, but just like, fertilizer will only, you gotta fertilize fields every time they grow. They'll only grow once a day, but you gotta fertilize them multiple times to get your maximum productivity and have a sliding scale there. As opposed to what it is now, where you can literally just fertilize them the day that you harvest them. What would be really nice would be something like Chop Straw as well. Just a graphical mod. Something like Chop Straw, multi-terrain angle. Be really nice as a default thing in maps. Like, Giants only need to make small changes to make it look like they've done a lot. They just need to take some of the code from certain mods, change up a bit, which they can do, by the way. It's part of their licensing for mods, and for Giants Editor. The slurry texture is super nice for soil mod. Oh, it's just... That's why I like using soil mod. It's not because it's more difficult, it's because, oh my god, the textures are just so beautiful. And I do have the Jennaborg. I'll put it in the Jennaborg pack. Oh my god, they stand out so well. NPK, PK, and N. I booted up a test map and just cleared out an area to test. They stand out so well. The lime texture actually looks like lime, as opposed to the kind of default. And I'm not complaining about the default soil mod textures Decker used, but the lime texture work he used is not particularly great. The lime texture work in the Genoport pack is really nice and light, and it kind of looks like there's a light spreading of lime across the field as opposed to... Yeah, I've been using Genoport. I'm using Genoport. You never use soil mod? I'm not judging Simulate. It's not for everybody. That's one thing I always say, is like, soil mod isn't for everybody. It's for people who want the game to be more difficult. That's the long and the short of soil mod. It's a mod that you use when you think Farm Sim is too easy for you, and you want a challenge, or you want extra realism or something. Hey Josh! It's a mod that you use in that situation. It's not just something that, oh, everybody should use soil mod because it's so good. It's a great mod, yeah, but I think in its full implementation it is too difficult for some people. It is really for people who just want Farm Sim to be difficult. You know, people like me who want to focus on the realism of it, and strongly focus on it more than most other YouTubers would, because let's face it, all on realism in Farm Sim isn't good video at times. And I do have to make some concessions to that. But I try and get it as close to realistic as I can. The fact they use 2D sticker textures for the soil makes it pointless. Simulate, if you find a good soil texture, it just adds so much to soil mod. There's a ton of stuff on FSUK. You can figure, you know, you can make up your own little book. Where's my big book of soil mod gone? Oh no, where's my book of soil mod stuff? Like, I've got this little copybook, which, as you can see, has a ton of little pink flaps in it. This is my soil mod book. If I'm looking up something in soil mod, I will look up through this book. I've written it all down. So if I'm ever in doubt about something, and I am still learning it, because it is a very, very in-depth mod that you need to write stuff down and get your calculations right. But once you start getting to grips with some of the basics, like what's taken off and what growth stages are and what growth stage does what, it really does add to the game. Big book of soil mod. Because there is a lot that you need to remember, and it's much easier to just write everything down and have it somewhere that you can reference on the fly. I mean, I could have a notepad document that's full of the soil mod stuff, but then I'd be tabbing in and out constantly. Like for videos and streams, it's much easier for me to just go, okay, here's my book, and I'm looking up, for example, slurry. What does slurry do here? And what do I want to do with the slurry to get the result that I want? That's the kind of stuff that I use it for. It's not just for my own entertainment, it's to reference in, like, while I'm recording or while I'm working away and I don't want to tab out because I'm on a good roll. It's just something that I can stop with the tractor, look at and say, oh, that's, you know, that's what I want. That's, yeah, that's exactly the situation that I need to try and create. Or, oh nuts, I've screwed up so badly here, I'm never going to be able to repair this. Or it's gonna, you know, I'm gonna have to literally just leave the crop rot away or leave the field for a few rounds so that all of the weeds soak up everything. Or, you know, grow dump crops. That's the kind of stuff that I use the book for. Is just a learning aid. Okay, so I need to do this line next. Where on earth does this line stop? Or start? So I know I'm going technically over time. This is what I've got. This is the situation where I've got where the half hour I've built into the schedule as an overrun works. Because I'm actually going for the 2 hours. I just started late because XSplit was being spazzy. Even that, I think that's where I got all my information, was just from the download link on FSUK. Like, that's the only information you need. Hey, Summer! You're a tiny bit late to the party because we're just starting to finish up. I have a new schedule and we're kind of cutting down on the streaming, bumping up the videos and trying to get a bit of balance into the channel. And now I'm having to use my backup YouTube stream. I had to use my backup settings for YouTube on XSplit because it has decided it wants to spaz today. And I'm going to have to try and get in contact with them to figure out what the hell has gone on. Late as usual, yeah. That's the risk you run with time zones, though. Tomorrow it'll be different though, because tomorrow's the longest stream of the week. So just a quick reminder that, because I am starting to cool down now, and I'm actually gonna stop bailing right here and save the game. So just a quick reminder that tomorrow's stream starts at 2 PM BST, I think we're in at the moment. 3 PM GMT, I think it is. Maybe 2 PM, 1 PM GMT. Starts at 3 PM my time. It's currently 5:06 PM my time. Tomorrow's stream starts at 2 PM my time, goes on till 6, for 4 hours of hell. Tonight's video is relatively short. It is the IndyCar, the Dallara DW12 IndyCar with the road configuration aero package on the Nürburgring for Project Hell. It was a good lap that I actually did, and I'm pleased with it. And it's Project Hell videos could be the shortest of the week. The Project Hell stream is the longest. The videos could be the shortest, to be quite honest, because I'm picking out cars that are going to be intentionally easy. So I have to record an ATS video and get in contact with XSplit support today, which is fun. Because of course I do. And I might check for updates as well. So, I almost crashed XSplit. So, until Project Hell, I did cause issues with XSplit. Well done me. Until Project Hell tonight at 5:30, or in 20 minutes, or until 4 hours of Hell tomorrow at 2 PM in 21 hours time. Stay safe, and goodbye. I'm not even going to do the countdown, this is just the end of it. Thank you all very much for watching, thank you all for coming along. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you'd enjoy the video tonight. It was a lot of fun to do. You sent me a message on Steam. Awesome, Welsh. I will check it pretty much now. I need to get in contact with XSplit support for fun. So thank you all very much for watching.
Stay safe, and goodbye for like the 5th time.